I'm Keaton Avalabanini and I won the title of UK Young Scientist of the Year. Like you, I was unsure of what to expect from my experience at the Big Bang Fair, but it was one of the most enjoyable times of my life and I'm here to help you get the most out of your experience. Here are my top 5 tips. It's a good idea to talk to your parents or to your teachers to arrange the logistics of attending the competition well in advance. Here are some key questions to consider. Have you got permission from your school to attend the competition? Also, if you're under 18, you need to consider that someone has to accompany you to the Big Bang Fair. Have you arranged transport, and also will you need to book accommodation for the night over? Another thing to consider is whether you need financial support with travel or stay. You can either ask local charities or organisations or apply for a National Science and Engineering competition bursary for any of your costs. There is also more helpful information on the competitor portal. The organisers of the competition will need lots of information about your project, so as soon as possible, log on to the competitor portal and fill in all your details. It's also important to take note of any deadlines as soon as possible. Exceeding any of the deadlines could affect your presentation, as none of the information will be taken into account. One of the questions I asked was, can I carry on developing my project in the run-up to the finals? The answer is yes, just make sure the concept is the same as the original. So you've completed all of your preparations and you've now arrived at the Big Bang Fair. What now? Make sure that you've arrived early enough so that you've got time to sort out any last-minute hitches with your project. You'll be showcasing your work at a stand, which is part of a pod of other competitors. Make sure to introduce yourself to them and to find out about their work. I made loads of close friends and it's a brilliant way of meeting like-minded scientists and engineers. There is a welcome event to meet fellow competitors and find out the final details from the National Science and Engineering team. More information can be found on the welcome event on the competitor portal. You've been chosen as a national finalist at this year's competition as you represent the best of this year's Young Science and Engineering. Remember that as a national finalist, your presentation will be alongside stands from leading companies, educational organisations and universities. Don't forget to make your presentation both appealing to the visitors and the judges. Each stand has a power supply and a fold-down table to display items on. You'll be able to display your project on the white walls of the stand. Which walls you are able to display on are shown in the detailed drawing available on the portal. If you have any specific or special requirements for your project, please give us as much information as possible when filling in details on the competitor portal. A member of the National Science and Engineering team will be in touch if they have any questions. Do's and don'ts. You can use blue tack, double-sided tabs, Velcro hook and loops or sellotape, but don't forget, you'll need to bring your own supplies. Don't use pins, staples, nails, screws or paint directly on the stand, unless you have permission from the National Science and Engineering team beforehand. So what makes a bad display? Well, one that can't be clearly seen from a distance, one that has all black and white text, no pictures, tiny font, an overwhelming amount of detail and too much technical jargon. Judges won't have time to read a text-heavy poster during your interview, and also remember that the more text you have, the more intimidating it will be to visitors, and they may be put off coming over to find out more. Also, don't use just one format to present your project. Remember you can use text, pictures, models, videos and displays to help show what your project is all about. Make sure your title is not too complicated or too long. A snappy title will work best to draw people in. So what makes a good display? It should be engaging from a distance. Remember that most visitors won't know what you've done with your project, so it should be visually engaging and you should try and explain any technical words or processes that you used in your project. When explaining your project, lead people through it like a story. Make sure it's easy to follow so you can tell them what you did and why. Then you can tell them what you found or did and why it matters. Most of all, make sure it's legible. Use colours that are clear on the background and a good sized font with lots of space. This makes it easy to read from a distance. And try to bring part of your project to life with a small activity that someone visiting your stand can do to understand how you did what you did. Whatever you do decide to do, make sure what you bring complies with venue safety. One of the most enjoyable experiences of last year was being able to showcase my work in front of the expert judges. Try not to be worried about the judging. They've all given up their time to volunteer at the fair, so they just want you to do the best that you can. Judging times are allocated on arrival, and it's important that you arrive at your stand at least 15 minutes before your allotted time. Also, all judges wear a badge saying judge, and there is no secret judging. My experiences at the Big Bang Fair were absolutely incredible and turned out far better than I ever thought they would. I'm so glad that I got involved, and I definitely recommend for you to get involved with it, because it's a lot better than realising further down the line how much you missed out on. I met lots of employers and companies that helped me think about my future career. So in addition, I met loads of other competitors who I'm still in touch with, so it's a great way to make new friends as well. Keep up to date with the latest information through the competitor portal, or alternatively, get in touch with a member of the National Science and Engineering Competition team. I look forward to seeing you at the finals this year.